Welcome to News You Can Use. I'm your host, BG, and no doubt the seasons are changing, meaning it's getting colder. So the big question is are you planning on traveling? Hold that for a second. But first, subscribe to this channel, tap that notification bell, and make sure to follow us across all of our social media. So yeah, when it gets colder, people usually set their sights on the Caribbean. But so many different countries have so many different rules. So today, we actually have an interview with Jamaica's Minister of Tourism to really clear the air. Jamaica's Minister of Tourism, Edmund Bartlett, thanks so much for joining us here on News You Can Use.
Thank you. Thank you for having me today, and a very pleasant morning to all of Canada, but more so the diaspora.
100%, and you know, a lot of them watch our show. So this is a big thing to hear from you. And a lot of course, people have family in Jamaica. A lot of people haven't been able to visit Jamaica in quite some time. Of course, you know that we here in Canada had some restrictions for flights to coming down to the island. How did that affect the tourism industry in Jamaica, by the way?
Well, it did. In fact, the first year after COVID, we lost 2 million visitors.
Jeez.
We lost 2.7 billion US dollars. We lost 130,000 jobs. And the economy contracted by 10 to 12%. The good news is that in the last 12 months, we have recovered significantly.
What are the numbers looking like now?
We have, to date, 1.1 million arrivals to date, and we've earned a little over $1.5 billion already. We've brought back 60,000 jobs.
Okay, so about halfway.
So we're about halfway. But the hard point that we wanted to bring home is that we've never closed our borders after we opened in June of last year. And that's significant because I think Jamaica is one of the few countries in the world that never closed after we opened back from COVID.
Well, let's get into that because I think a lot of people would love to know, can they travel to Jamaica if they're unvaccinated, for example? What are the protocols? What are the rules around that?
The strict rule for us is a negative viral test, PCR or antigen. And once you have that, 72 hours before your arrival in the country, you're accepted. We also were innovating. And among the innovation is to establish a resilient corridor. And that was a geographical area from Negril straight through to Port Antonio. 85% of the tourism attractions and hotels and so on were in that corridor. And so what we did was to train all the workers fully. We vaccinated, and now more than 50% of all the workers in that corridor are fully vaccinated. We established COVID-secure benchmarks, and then we went in and classified each of the entities and gave them a decal to reflect the level of classification. And if you are not fully COVID compliant, you could not receive a guest.
What do you say to Canadians who want to travel to Jamaica, but want to feel that security and safety of knowing that, you know, hotel workers or resort workers, tourist staff are fully vaccinated?
Small countries like Jamaica have had problems getting vaccines. And there is no question about it. The bigger countries have literally cornered the vaccine of the world, and some have had up to 3 applications, while 80% of the world has yet to have 2.
Talk to me about those challenges, though, of securing vaccinations.
Well,
because we're here in a country where...
Well, the good news is that Canada gave Jamaica vaccines.
What type?
So that's good. We got the AstraZeneca, and we have been using AstraZeneca.
How do you feel about the AstraZeneca?
But there's another issue of AstraZeneca that we need to talk about. Because whilst we get these gifts. When the classification is done in terms now of vaccination codes and whose vaccine we accept and who we don't, the very countries that give you the gift are saying they don't recognize your people who are double vaccinated as being vaccinated.
You talked about the importance of travel, tourism. We know Canada is one of the biggest tourism bases for Jamaica. Are you seeing a recovery in cruise ship tourism? Because I know that is massive.
Yes. No, the cruise recovery is on.
Yeah.
We've had 4 or 5 calls already, and I just concluded negotiations with the cruise lines in Florida a couple of days ago, and we're going to be having over 100 calls from Carnival alone, and Royal Caribbean and MSC and Disney and Ciel, and all of them are going to be back on track as of November.
We all watched the Olympics, and we watched Jamaican women just do a clean sweep. Look at that smile. Do you think there's going to be a positive effect or impact on tourism since Jamaica has been in the spotlight?
To have our girls doing, sub 10 at the level they did consistently over so many important races. And I'm satisfied that the world attention was pretty much focused on Jamaica for that period, and it has done us well.
I have to ask you this last question before we wrap up, because it was big news, especially amongst Jamaican Canadians here, with the fact that Jamaica is going to look to seek reparations from the UK. What has that process been like, and are you guys still on track? Any updates with that?
Well, I think the progress has been in terms of more the global attention that it has attracted. I think that it has enabled some thought in the countries that are responsible. We haven't seen the kind of responses yet that would say to you, yes, but we know enough is going on for some further discussion and considerations, yes.
Alrighty. And will Jamaica be fully back open with the festivals that we all love by next year? Do you foresee that
Well,
taking
if
place?
we manage as we are, by all means, and of course, if the global management of the virus continues and we are spared some more strains and variants, the answer is an unqualified yes.
All right. I don't get to speak with all the Minister of Tourisms every day, but for all of the rest that believe their country is the best to visit in the Caribbean, why is that false?
Well, because we have the most iconic attraction of all, our people. I was saying to a group last night that we were special in the sense that we were made on the 8th day of creation. So after God had seen everything else he did, he realized something was missing. He made Jamaica.
Minister of Tourism, Edmund Bartlett, thank you so much for joining us on News You Can Use. I will agree with you on that one. Hey BG Squad, thanks so much for checking out our channel, and listen to this, we have more great content for you, like this video right here and this video right here. By the way, don't forget to subscribe to this channel right now and tap that notification bell.